Hi, I'm Kenny McReynolds. It has been said that if you develop a passion for learning, you will never cease to grow. At the forefront of cultivating that growth are some remarkable teachers.
I also like to share just a little bit because I don't post a lot on social media. My name is Tanisha Kwani and I am an English teacher at Finger High School in Chicago. I've been teaching for 21 years and I love my job. You're gonna give us one sentence, one phrase, and one word, but I want you all to identify every. So today we were focused on the psychological effects of social media on teens. We want to make sure that kids understand that we understand what they might be going through. We need to put it out there in the open. So today we talked about the psychological effects of it, and it was so negative and it was almost scary. And the kids even recognized that themselves. So the similarities, the differences, and the progression that you see in the... You know, I see a lot of kids who are dropping out of college because they're depressed, and oftentimes they can't tell us why. And so maybe if we can talk about that stuff, get that stuff put on the table and fight it right here, then maybe they can skip that part later on in life. I really put a lot of time and effort into my students. I want to teach them as much as I can, not just about English, but about life in general. I want to let them know that once you leave this building, I'm still here. You can still reach out to me, because sometimes they just need somebody to talk to. They just need somebody to reach back out to. They need somebody who can point them in the right direction. When people go out in the world and they're looking for jobs, these corporations are looking for people who can work with a team. And so when you enter my classroom in junior year, because I have them junior and senior year, there are two things that you're gonna do constantly. Work in a group and speak in front of the class.
And girls appear to be greater risk than males.
And I have kids who have come into my classroom who they say they like to work alone, they don't want to work with anybody, they don't like people, all these type of things. I say, okay, that's fine. But by the time you graduate from my class, all of that stuff will be out of the window. You have to. It's the only way that you're gonna pass my class. I've had students who are so afraid to speak in front of the class that when they finally do get up there, they're shaking. I had one girl that was crying. By senior year, she wanted to go first, okay? So my classroom is a place where you can feel safe. It's a safe zone. I don't allow any verbal abuse. I don't allow people to be bullied or made fun of. Nobody in here is perfect. And in this room is where we can make the mistakes and learn from them, all right? Only my reporters have their eyes open. I love young people, I really do. And I know that my work is not done. I want to impact them, and I honestly feel like if I am not the one to do it, that nobody will do it. I want them to be great parents, I want them to be great leaders, great at whatever they decide to do. And I tell them, whether you are the president of a corporation or whether you are a janitor somewhere, whatever you do, take pride in whatever you do. Somebody has to do it, so take pride in whatever you do and do everything 100% to the best of your ability. And you'll win. That's what I tell them all the time.
So remember, sequence means more than one transformation. I'm Colleen Wedderburn, and I teach diverse learners math at Dineen School of Excellence. How did it get from here to here? I actually wanted to really teach history and English. I'm really passionate about social studies, and I was like, if I can get students to be little Che's and little Malcolm X's and Martin Luther King's, the world would be a better place. But I stumbled into math because I found math difficult as a student. It just did not make sense to me. And so when I started teaching diverse learners, I realized math was a huge challenge for them as well.
You got this? Come on, son.
So no, you may not be good in geometry, but algebra might be your subject because I know you're great with numbers. No, you might not be good with algebra, but you might be really good with graphing or making sure that you can use tactile things in order to reach it. So giving them those different access points and then showing them the different ways that they can be successful in math definitely helps the students. I need a scholar to come up to the board and explain their thinking. For diverse learners, they've been historically silenced. So anytime they have the opportunity to speak, I want them to speak in my classroom. Oftentimes, they may feel like I don't understand this, so I have nothing to share, and they may crouch or they may become silent because of that. Come on, Lanaya, try it. They either go and just disagree, and support you. What point? So those nonverbals are just a way where students can see, oh, I have the support of my classroom, or maybe I need to check this back without being embarrassed in front of everybody. If you can understand a bit of it and share that with a peer, you can help build their understanding as well. Maybe that can be taken away with them, and then it can just build that understanding even more. Call on one more person, son. I love them so much, and I really just want to see the best for them. I know I can be really hard on them sometimes, but it's all out of love because I see this amazing person in them, in each and every one of them. And I just want other people to see that as well, whether it's their peers or their family members or even themselves. Like, I want them to know that they're loved, they're cared for, that they're believed in, and that I support them in whatever success that they're gonna find.
Okay, so that's two examples we've seen of indirect proofs. I'm Kevin Roach. I'm a math and science teacher here at Fenwick High School. I also coach distance running in cross country and track. So what is an example of if we take that proof and we're trying to find the opposite of that? Jack?
C is not parallel to F because of it.
So we just had a test the day before, and we wanted these kids to visualize what they did on the test and have them put up the correct answers matching with the solutions that they had. And so they had the test digitally, so they were looking at it on their iPad. They brought it up and they were able to show the students that maybe didn't get it, the name with the drawing, and they were able to explain why each drawing matched with a certain name. Today, we introduced a project where they're researching minority mathematicians and scientists. We're leaning that way in a society where we're becoming more and more aware that there is an imbalance. And so for them, a younger generation probably does not see that imbalance as much, but my generation and older certainly see in the STEM fields where it was significantly white male dominated, and that's unfortunate because we're not hitting our potential when we are with one background or one perspective, and we want a lot of different perspectives to be successful. So all the mediums come together so John Wooden, who's somebody I really look up to and I read a lot of books about, says coaching and teaching is the same thing. You're an educator, one way or another. And so you're trying to make these wonderful people of character, whether it's in the classroom or out on the athletic fields. Hard work doesn't necessarily mean success, but not working hard pretty much means failure. And so that was ingrained in me in high school, and that helped translate well into the classroom as well, where I was successful in college, realizing that hard work is going to be the backbone of my confidence. Some people haven't put names up. We still looking? For the students that I've had before, those who are in college and beyond, I want them to be good people that take pride in their work and that recognize that hard work is an important part of being successful in whatever you want to do in life. Okay. At the end of the day, it's not necessarily the success of the classroom that's important to me, but the resiliency and the perseverance of the student. So I try and encourage them and lift them up and say, whether you're successful or not on this test, quiz, quarter grade, whatever, work hard. It's going to pay off, and I'm going to be in their corner encouraging them to do that and to work hard.
But then also something that has a lot of color and has a lot of variety of color. You don't want something monochromatic or just one thing.
My name is Mrs. Philbin, and I teach AP Studio Art at Bloom High School.
The way AP Studio Art works is the students have to create a portfolio of their own artwork, and it can't be something that I tell them to do. It needs to be their own portfolio of their own unique work. That is very cool.
Thank you.
I love this. So that's really where the class begins, is getting students to understand what are their ideas and their inspirations and what's personal to them. To get students to do that is to allow students to be themselves and respect who they are, respect their intelligence, respect the place where they're at this point in their life, and let them know that that's valuable. And I think when you recognize your students as young adults and people, and that they have ideas that are worth listening to, it really gives them a powerful voice.
She actually puts in the effort to get to know the student.
she actually like wants to not necessarily be friends, but understand how you are, what you're feeling. It's actually a portrait of my little sister and how I see her when she gets older, because I want her to feel like she's beautiful. I want her to know that in her heart, no matter anything, not just on the outside, but on the inside too. I want people to know that it's okay to be different, that because you're not the same as everybody else, it's okay. I want my art to show we're all the same.
Art gives me the freedom to create what I want and show my interests, and I'm not put in a bubble to what I have to draw and make. All of these are based on music artists that are anti-establishment and basically change from the norm of what music presents. And I'm using a new style where I cut up portraits that I've done and make new backgrounds out of them.
I am in awe over how talented some of our students are. I am so admiring of how fearless they are. And the first year I was teaching a class in here was 2010, Jawan, and he had an airbrush. And he asked, can we airbrush? And I said, well, I don't have an airbrush here. He's like, well, I have one. I said, there's bare walls here. You go right ahead and you go ahead and put your mark on the wall. And the other students in the class said, hey, can we sign the wall too? And I said, sure. So ever since then, at the end of every school year, it's kind of been that rite of passage to allow the students to make their mark on the room. Don't worry about the money. If you're happy, you'll find something to do and the money will come. Because I tell my students a lot, once you find a job, you're gonna wake up for about 30 years every day to the same thing. You better like where you're going every day and you better like what you're doing. And that is my wish for them, because I know their lives will be much happier.
Teachers, important people doing remarkable work. From all of us here to them, thank you for your dedication. To all of you, thanks for watching. I'm Kenny McReynolds.